Hey everybody, this is JDGaming. Welcome back to week 2 where we're doing another character deck profile just for fun. This week we have Seto Kaiba. So I'm just going to go through some of these cards one by one so you can kind of see the artwork if you're like me. The artwork is really what triggers the nostalgia for these cards, especially from memories, childhood memories from watching the first season of the show. So without further ado, here are some of Kaiba's cards. So of course we're starting off with his playset of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Don't mind the one that has a bit of wear. I'll show some of the ones that don't have nearly as much wear, and we'll focus it in just a second. There we go. So we have the mighty Blue Eyes White Dragons. I really wish this artwork would have been reprinted a little more. The only time they really did was the Duelist Pack Kaiba. I know previously they had like the DDS Dark Duel Stories version, but it's just not enough. They need more reprints of that. We have Hyozan-ryu, which is literally Diamond Cutting Dragon. It's a very cool card. Summoned one time alongside the other Blue Eyes using double Flute of Summoning Dragon. We have Vorse Raider, which is a very powerful card that was released really when it was too late for 1900 monsters to really be relevant. Finally as a tin promo, and of course his text was actually changed. It reads, "This wicked beast warrior does every horrid thing imaginable, and loves it. His axe bears the marks of his countless victims." But if you play the old video games or have seen, other translations of the OCG's version, it actually says, "The axe in the hand of this evil animal has tasted the blood of many monsters." We have Le Jin, the mystical genie of the lamp, and of course, what would he be without the ancient lamp from which he arrives? I remember when this thing was a Shonen Jump promo. It's pretty cool in that the card itself, the lamp, is the foil part, and then the rest of the card, the background, is not. It's kind of the reverse of what you see in a lot of cards. X-Head Cannon, one of the first XYZ monsters, not Xyz, of course, and a monster that combines via union method. So first, we have, of course, Y Dragon Head, which is the middle segment of the big boss monster. He is a union, so he goes and attaches as an equip spell to the X or Z. And then we have Z Metal Tank, another union monster, the bottom part of the XYZ Dragon Cannon that we'll get to later. Then here we have another cool tin promo. For Kaiba we have Blade Knight, the mighty Chaos Emperor Dragon. Believe it or not, Kaiba did run this one time against Siegfried von Schroeder in the Grand Championship duel. It's a pretty interesting match, so I suggest you guys check it out. You can see it for free on Hulu and stuff, so, it's available for you guys. Then we have Cyberjar. This thing appeared when Kaiba was testing his new Obelisk the Tormentor against the 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. This thing allowed him to summon all the materials he needed to summon Obelisk, but it also let the computer amass all the cards he needed pretty much to go and summon out the ultimate dragon. Enraged Battle Ox, just the up-trained version of Battle Ox. Triple Giant German here. Whenever I play this deck, I feel that I need 3 of these things just to make Crush Card live. Otherwise, such an iconic card of Kaiba's arsenal is gone. But we have 3 of them here. We have Kaiser Seahorse, who served as Kaiba's deckmaster and was, of course, the cover card for the starter deck Evolution for Kaiba back in 2004. Lord of Dragons, I still have no idea to this day why the heck they called it Lord of D. Like, they could have easily fit dragons in here, and it's not like they wanted to go and censor the word dragons, right? Spear Dragon, very cool monster from back in the day, 1900 with piercing. All in exchange for that, you just switch him to defense after he attacks, and he has 0 defense, but he's only for that turn, unlike Goblin Attack Force, who goes for the entire turn cycle. We have Vampire Lord, a very cool card Kaiba used once. And, of course, his Egyptian god card, the mighty Obelisk the Tormentor. I really think it's cool that they have these kind of like poems as flavor text for these things. Obelisks reads, "The descent of this mighty creature shall be heralded by burning winds and twisted land, and with the coming of this horror, those who draw breath shall know the true meaning of eternal slumber." 4,000 attack and defense. I remember when this card was first revealed in the show, it was just like, oh my gosh, this thing is so amazing. Then we have some spells. We have Cost Down, a mighty card that allowed Kaiba to go and play things like his Blue Eyes with fewer tributes than normal. Enemy controller. Konami kind of did their own thing with this thing, threw in their Konami code on the show and made Kaiba chant it in the 4Kids dub. But it's a different card in the show in that it either blows up a monster or takes it just for a tribute summon. Nonetheless, a very fun card and a certain Yugituber's profile picture. We have Fiend's Sanctuary, a coveted card way back in the day because of its ability to produce a very powerful token that can be used as tribute fodder and a bunch of other things. Still a very interesting card today. We have Heavy Storm. Yes, Kaiba actually did run Heavy Storm once, which is pretty interesting. You'd think something this powerful wouldn't be played, but it was. But then again, there are things like Chaos Emperor as well. We have Monster Reborn, the torrential magic of Mystical Space Typhoon. I remember seeing this card in the movie. And we have Polymerization, of course, to form the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. An ultimate rare version of Pot of Greed from that first, if I can get it in there, first Duelist Pack Kaiba. It's kind of hard to get this without glare, I do apologize, because it is an ultimate rare. But you can kind of see its face there. Next we have Shrink, which was a very hard to get Shonen Jump Championship promo. Yes, Shonen Jump, before it was called YCS, was called Shonen Jump Championships. And Shrink was just one of the really coveted cards that no one had until they reprinted it in the Storm, or was it the Strike of Neos Special Edition. We have Soul Exchange, the Flute of Summoning Dragon, used in tandem with Lord of Dragons. The White Dragon Ritual, and the new Fang of Critias from Dragons of Legend 2. This one I really like. I feel like it's just the most faithful reproduction of the card art from the anime, and we of course have just more details onto the card itself, which is very, very cool. And the effect is a very good portrayal of the anime effect as well. We have Cloning, which Kaiba used a couple times to go and steal things like Toon Masked Sorcerer to go and do things. We have Crush Card Virus. This thing was so powerful back in the day when it had its original effect. Now that it's nerfed, I don't know, it's not that popular anymore, but maybe that means we'll play multiple of these things, or be able to in the future, and we can go and use Doom Virus Dragon. Interdimensional Matter Transporter. I just love when spells or traps are ultra rare, so this card is just really cool in artwork for me. It's actually pretty cool. If you see this card in the show, it's not like this flat tower-like device. It's actually kind of more like a gun almost, in that the upper portion's aimed forward a bit more. We have Negate Attack, saved Kaiba's butt a couple times in the show. Very cool. Shadow Spell, used to shackle down monsters like Blue Eyes Toon Dragon before going in for the attack. Tyrant Wing, just a new trap card, supports some dragons in general, and allows you to go and play one of the new fusion monsters for the Fang of Critias. And then this extra deck includes some non-fusion things, but it's really just because when I play this character deck for fun, I feel like some things shouldn't be drawn into. So we have, first of all, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. I remember back in 2005, this thing came out in the January issue of Shonen Jump, and my gosh, I was just so excited. I think it was actually January 2006, should have been. This thing was released in that first volume, and oh my goodness, this thing was just such a cool pull at the time. And I still think it's just as epic to this day. We have Paladin of White Dragon. I've heard there's some misprints of this thing with no name. I'd kind of like to see that, but nonetheless, I still think this kind of blue and white color scheme on a ritual monster just looks really, really neat. XY Dragon Cannon, the version that Kaiba actually summoned first when he revealed his Union monsters for the first time. And then XYZ Dragon Cannon, despite, the damage here, still a very, very cool card. This thing was actually made a tin promo back in 2003, and it was before Magician's Force was released with all the pieces. So you actually had a boss monster referencing monsters of material, when you don't have them in the game. So that was a pretty weird anachronism, I guess, for Konami in the TCG. The new Doom Virus Dragon, who carries Crush Card Virus's original unaltered text. And Tyrant Burst Dragon, was just the ability to go and do so much massive damage to the opponent. I don't have Mirror Force Dragon here at the moment, but I feel like I'll eventually want to put that into a full collection, but for Kaiba's deck, it's not like he runs Mirror Force anyway, so maybe I'll do an updated version with it in the future, but for now, I don't think there's any reason to. So down in the comments, let me know what you guys thought of this character deck. If there are any things that I missed, that are just your favorite things from Kaiba's deck from back in the first series, let me know. Maybe I can do an updated version in the future that incorporates those memories. So thanks, guys. This is JDGaming. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next week with the final character deck profile.